All right, let's get past Florida State. Again, another I told you so. When we picked this game, we both picked Vandy, but I said, hey, Georgia State could give Vandy a problem. Georgia State is good enough to beat Vanderbilt. We all don't believe Vanderbilt is that good. Just they had a good start. Lo and behold, 36-32. Georgia State
And
wins.
if y'all have been talking to me for a long time and listening to the podcast, I bring up Georgia State and its ability to be a future powerhouse. They're centrally located in a place where there are a bunch of athletes that just end up not playing because of whatever reason. If you can convince those guys who are good football players, who for whatever reason just not getting recruited by those guys, hey, you want to stay in Atlanta and play football? This could be a really big problem. And it could really be a problem for teams like Vanderbilt. If Georgia State could continue to do this, then minus Vandy. I guess Vandy's baseball.
I was about to say Vandy would be a bad, but everybody else though, Tennessee, South Carolina.
No. All of those are still fixtures. And South Carolina's not. Well, you got to think women's basketball. Tennessee's not leaving. South Carolina women's basketball not leaving. Vanderbilt, your baseball program is saving you. Let me tell you that right now. If not for that baseball program being elite, you would have been found your way to the ACC.
Nah, Vanderbilt will never leave. Even if their baseball team ain't elite, they'll never leave because they bring in all the academic money.
But yeah, I'm happy that Georgia State won. Vanderbilt, y'all, you can't lose these games. You already get monkey stomped by the rest of the SEC. The least you could do is beat the teams you're supposed to beat.
Well, as I thought, Tennessee basketball already done left, bro. Women's basketball, they wasn't good last year. I was about to say they ain't been good for like the past 2-3 years. When you said, I was like,
but 2 or 3 years. But I mean, it's a legacy program that's been really good. Mostly.
So is Florida.
Yeah, and that nobody's letting Florida leave the SEC. Let me tell you that.
I'm not saying leave the SEC. I'm saying Georgia State will impact if they end up being good, as you keep saying. If they're good, they will impact the recruiting of Georgia Tech, of Tennessee, of Auburn, of South Carolina. All those where the people leave, where Georgia is a nationwide at this point. Where they are now, they recruit the best nationwide. There's a lot of players that get skipped over. They go to Auburn, they go to Tennessee, they go to Alabama. I ain't gonna say Alabama. Go to Auburn, go to Tennessee, go to I would group Florida in that until they fire Napier. If Georgia State ends up being good, their kids gonna stay right there at home.
And now, see, had Deion not gone to Colorado and stayed at Jackson State and then went to Georgia State, it's not the same money, but way more sustainable. He could have cleaned up on everything right there in Atlanta and right there in Florida. You know how tough it would have been to recruit against him right there in Atlanta?
Well, let me tell you, you know how tough it is to recruit against Dale McGee, who's the head coach of Georgia State. He's the number one recruiter for Georgia.
You're right.
He's the one that got all the running backs from Nick Chubb all the way up to these last guys until he left last year. He is, and he has a personal relationship with Kirby. So the dudes that don't make it to Georgia go right there.
Hey, I can't get them all. He goes some leftovers for you.
I would rather them go play. If I'm Georgia, I'd rather them play at Georgia State than Georgia Tech.
Yeah, and I mean, also Georgia Southern is tight on y'all. this used to be all the before it was Georgia Southern. Now,
yeah, Sunbelt's interesting.
Sunbelt's interesting. Got a little problem.
Hey, Toledo beat Mississippi State 41-17, and Mississippi 41-17, and it wasn't close. It was It could have been 61-17. It could have been worse. The Rockets beat the hell out of them, dog. And when I tell you the group of five had a hell of a week, the UNLV beat Kansas 23-20. Memphis beat Florida State. Toledo beat Mississippi State. They all were paid A total.
Must be the money that's
To win.
driving them wild. Must
Must
the
be the
money.
money. Ooh, they
Yeah.
should have played it at the Florida State game.
Oh man. And a dude from A&T, he deserves his own clip. And he be like, hey, and show me my money.
And show me my money. Yeah, man. So we are now, I always say this every year, we are separating the wheat from the chaff. You have, shout out to Pops Davis, those teams that get upset at the beginning normally aren't going to make it to the end of the season anyway. Mississippi State wasn't going to be good. We were skeptical on Florida State. Now we just automatically think they're awful. Kansas was never going to be good.
Oh, that's him down there. I missed him down there in the money bag. He's a legend.
Who?
The A&T coach. If
Oh,
you
yeah,
look in
yeah,
the money
yeah,
bag,
yeah. Give me my money.